Are we on? Are we live?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm Michelle Rehill, Chairperson of the Northborough Library Board of Trustees. This meeting is being held fully remotely. The meeting is being recorded and there will be no remote participation for this meeting. So I call the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. I don't remember if I said that part. I will do the attendance when I call your name. Please say present or here. Brittany Burns.
Brittany Burns here.
Thanks. Mitch Cohen.
Mitch Cohen here.
Amanda DeRoche-Millette is not here. It's a school meeting night. She may join us. Pat Fonts.
Pat Fonts here.
Jim Hogan. Jim Hogan, did you hear me?
You froze on me for a minute there. Jim Hogan here.
Thank you. Sorry. Beth Samus.
Beth Thomas here.
Richard Tucker.
Richard Tucker here.
And Michelle Rehill is also here. And Jocelyn McKelney is not with us tonight. We hope she's better soon. Also with us, we have Library Director Jen Bruneau and Assistant Library Director Caitlin Stacy. All right, having gotten that out of the way, we need to pass over the approval of the minutes for July and August because we had many technical problems everywhere. So we will do at our next meeting in October, we will approve the July, the August, and the September minutes. So it's going to be, could potentially be a short meeting. Sorry. I don't want to jinx us. So we're going to move on to the FY27 appropriations report. Is it really the FY26 appropriations report?
Technical. I don't know what year it is, apparently. It's either 24, 25, 26, 27. I don't know. It's a year.
Anyway, okay.
Sorry about that.
It is. Again, back to
It was a week last week. I'm so sorry. Yes, agenda problems abound. Just a note, we are still working on closing the books for fiscal year 25. So you will get a final report. We just needed a few more weeks to make sure that the journal entries are all correct. So next month, what you'll get is an updated trust funds report, it should be a final fiscal year 25 report, and you will get a fiscal year 26 report. Usually I forget to change the year forward, and I guess I just changed it 2 years forward. I think I had 27 on my mind because of the financial summit is probably the only excuse I can offer you. Does anybody have any questions about the report?
Seeing none, then we will look forward to the trust funds report and the final FY25 fiscal report or financial report, appropriations report. That's it in October. Now we can move on to the director's report or the library report for September. All I'm going to say about it is, looks like you had a very, excuse me, very busy, rocking summer.
Busy. I can't say enough good things about my staff and the number of programs that they put on, and just the number of people that were in this summer. My goodness, every time I walked out, it was busy. The circulation numbers support that, the program attendance numbers, the number of programs that they did, it's just amazing. I don't know how they do the number of beads that they give away for the necklaces for summer reading is just, it's amazing. It's such a great program. It gets a lot of enthusiasm. Yeah, so that was just great. any questions about what was in the report? Because if not, I have a couple of things that were not in the report that I would just give you quick updates on.
No, Jen, I just have to commend you and your staff because, like you said, the numbers were unbelievable. Very impressive.
Yeah, I had to run the numbers a couple times just to make sure that this, I was looking at the circulation numbers like, those are right. Those are high.
You know, and that all harks back to something we all talked about at the August meeting, how busy the library is as a public facility in the town. And the numbers, when I was doing the minutes for the August meeting, and I had that number that you threw out, 103,000 um, people came through the library last year, and so these numbers just keep going up and up and up, and we just need to keeping that in the eyes of the decision makers in town, because the library is obviously well used and treasured by our residents.
Yes, it is.
A couple
Yeah.
quick things. One, I just wanted to make mention that Blackstone Unlimited has pretty low usage. I've used it a little bit. It's really good. I hope more people use it. I know you've mentioned it on Facebook. Keep mentioning it. That'll get into the normal rhythm of what people look for audiobooks or anything else. But I'm enjoying that. Appreciate that that's been added. And I know in the staffing changes section, a couple of people have left. I was just curious where you are in the process of bringing new people on board to replace them.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks for bringing up, one thing that I will note with Blackstone is they sent the marketing materials, I think, to the wrong library initially. So we just got the marketing materials for that.
Okay.
So now we can actually push that resource on its own, and start to sort of let that take hold. And I just found out on Friday that BPL is dropping Hoopla through their e-card. So I think we will pair Blackstone with their announcement. It's safe to say it now, it's public, but they have not pushed that information out, but that subscription is ending as of July, or I don't know what day it is, September 30th or 31st. That subscription will end. So people are definitely going to be looking for audio, instant access. So we will be, now that we have our materials. I see that Caitlin unmuted, so I'm gonna,
Yeah,
she
sorry.
is the person that's been doing it.
Hi. So yes, after finally getting my marketing materials last week, which the guy profusely apologized for. So yeah, thankful to have those. Another thing to add, so when I spoke with our representative, they did tell I asked for a 3-year forecast about what they're looking at for collections wise, because I was one of my concerns going in was that it's a brand new resource. How many titles, that are kind of either heavy hitters or kind of like of public interest will they have? What's this looking like? So they gave me like they could only give me about a year forecast because they're working with publishers to kind of solidify those licenses and those deals. But last I spoke to them, which was probably about, I don't even know what day it is anymore. So yeah, probably like a month ago. They are adding I believe it was 500 new titles recently within the past month, and then they have 500 more coming in October. So that will give us another good push once that announcement comes out and they let me know it's good to go. I'm kind of starting to prepare the marketing for that so we can really kind of get it up and kind of going. So yeah, so that's just something to keep an eye out for. So I thought you would like to know that there are more titles incoming, so it gives me more it gives me more of the ability to make some more marketing materials and really push it out. So yeah. But I'm glad to know that you're enjoying it. I know I am also enjoying it because I'm an instant access person too. I used Hoopla quite often. So I was like, oh man, but this has been really fun. And I like that I don't have to think about it. I was like, oh, it's not due. No big deal. But yeah, so there are more titles incoming. Just wanted to let you know that.
Great, thank you.
Along those lines, one of the things that Caitlin and I did also, well, through Caitlin, because Caitlin has been communicating primarily with Blackstone, we wanted to know if part of their long range plan included in adding AI generated titles or anything that was, you know, of low quality that was similar to the AI generated in any part or whole. And they said absolutely not. They are not interested, and that they vet very carefully what they add in. So we were very happy with that answer. The other thing is if you add this, if you look on the stats sheet, the overdrive CPC statistics, those are the cost per circ. We also are diverting funds into that. The cost per circ is the instantly available titles. So some of the Hoopla use has gone into that, and that usage is pretty high too. We've also put some additional, like if I can get, there's so many different license models for overdrive, but there's some where there's a simultaneous use model available up to 100 or 200 circulations. So if that model license is available for a title that I want to purchase, I will purchase that one, because that also cuts down on the hold list. So in addition to Blackstone, we've been making some improvements to our patrons' Libby experience as well. And I've heard from people that it has been noticed, appreciated, and making a good impact. So I was happy to hear that. Your second question was about the hiring process. So we lost one page to college, and we did fill that vacancy. Our new person did start this week. So we're working on onboarding her. I think she's going to be great. She seems really cool. Bonnie does a great job. Bonnie and Caitlin do all of the interviewing and selection for that position, and they do an amazing job. Makes my job very easy. All I do is meet and approve. But they really know how to identify those teens who are really ready to take that responsibility and who are really going to succeed. The other vacancy that we have is coming up. That is for the library associate in reference. That job just posted today. So we will be, it just posted on the town, I should say. So I haven't even had a chance to post it to the MBLC website, which is really where we get the majority of our interest and our qualified applicants. Sometimes somebody in town will see it on the town website, but generally that's not where we get our applicants. So I will be posting that tomorrow morning.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Okay, I had other updates and now I can't remember what they were. Oh, okay, there were two. One is that just recently, I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning, Caitlin and I got a final draft of the health and wellness plan to review. There's a short one that's sort of condensed that is, it's designed to be sort of a marketing document. She actually had a graphic designer do the layout for it. There's a longer version that includes all of the survey results, the methodology, like the long plan that you would expect to see. And then some posters that are just meant for the library. So she's going to actually mail us some nice glossy thick posters for us to put around the library. we meet with her tomorrow to finalize and go over everything just to make sure that everything is the way that we want it, that there's no typos, before she's going to run off some copies of the shorter one. I think it's going to be like a glossy, thick paper booklet so that we can actually hand that out to stakeholders, hand out some copies at the library. I'll be presenting it to the Youth Commission in December, I think at their meeting on the 2nd. It's so far out because I wanted to be able to present it to you in October. And then I skipped November because it's the day after the special town meeting. And I didn't want to commit to a night after like what could potentially be a long night. So I will present it to them, and then I'm sure I will run it, present it to the select board and really whoever else I can get in front of to talk about this with. Just because we're so excited about it, and it is sort of a unique way to tell our story of the importance of the library and the partnerships that we have, and some of the great work that we will be focusing on and that we in some ways are already focusing on. So as soon as that is finalized after our meeting tomorrow, I will be sending that out for you to look at. And I'm really excited for you to see it because it looks great. The other thing was the financial summit. Just a quick note, we had the financial summit. It was very long. It was very informative. I've been working side by side with these department heads for a number of years, and I still learn some of the things that they do. It was very eye-opening, I think, to see how lean some of the department budgets are and how much everybody seems to be doing with such tight budgets. I don't really have a sense of the temperature of the room. It seemed like there were definitely a lot of people that did not wish to see department budgets cut in the way that we all described. I mean, it was about 2 solid hours of doom after doom after doom in some ways. You can definitely watch it, and I encourage you to take a look at it. It is long, but there's a podcast version of it on Northborough Media Connection, or you could watch the YouTube link, pause it, watch it in blocks. But I would definitely encourage you to do so because there's some really good information. So it starts with all the department heads sort of presenting their budget scenarios. And then the finance director spends a good hour or so giving some town financial projections, which is sort of a bigger, broader outlook of free cash and sort of all the different things that go into making up a town budget, and sort of where we are, how we got to where we are, some of the things that they predicted correctly and some of the things that were harder to predict that led to unexpected rises in costs, like health insurance was a big thing from last year that they usually get like a 2 to 4% increase, and it was something like 20%, negotiated down to I think like 16 or 17%. Don't quote those numbers, but it was something very high. So if you're interested in sort of the process of how the town budget gets created and what goes into all of that, this was a really good way to start understanding that. There were some questions at the end about the overall process and what the town could do to potentially avoid an override, which it doesn't seem like they would need this year or next year, but maybe in some year soonish. And, a discussion of generating more revenue versus cutting costs. One point that the finance director, Jason Little, did make was even if all of the town department budgets got cut down to the level funded, those crazy budgets that we the one that I presented to you, if we all got cut, it would be about $485,000. Even that would not be enough to avoid an override if an override is inevitable. So that in and of itself is not enough to change the course of, like, it's just not a lot of money that we're talking about. So there's a lot of other factors that kind of go into it. So if you're interested in understanding kind of the financial situation, I definitely encourage you to listen to it or watch it. I am somewhere in the middle. I spoke super, super fast, and I'm not sure that I made it in 5 minutes. But Steph was kind enough to shut her timer off and just sort of let me take a few extra minutes. That I thought that was nice of her, because I'm not sure how long I was speaking, but I don't think it was 5 to 7 minutes. I think it was more like 10 to 12. And even then, I couldn't get in all the information that I wanted to get in. So, any questions about that? I will
Sounds like
continue to share.
it went as good as you could expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know ultimately what the answer is going to be. I think I made a strong case for, like, I don't have excess in the budget. It would be hard to cut it without making an impact on services. Everybody's kind of in that same boat together. So I think it went as well as it was going to go. In terms of what actually happens next, I think the one thing that I can say is we're all in the same boat together, and I don't think they're going to cut anything unless they absolutely don't have another way to do it. In the meantime, I'm continuing to look at our budget, and anything that I can find a cost savings on, like our IT, I will continue to analyze that and be as fiscally responsible as I can. It's just that it's hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. So it's not going to make a huge difference, but any little bit helps and probably goes a long way towards that trust element and that transparency element. I think it's important that everybody sees that you're doing as much as you can, I think, to control your costs, and certainly not adding anything or being wasteful in any way. So yeah, we'll see.
Does anybody have any questions or comments about the report or anything else? If not, any other business that may come before the board? Seeing none, the next meeting will be October 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. And it will be remote again. I see nodding heads. Okay. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mitch. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Beth. I will do the roll call. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting at this time: Brittany Burns,
Brittany Burns, aye.
Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Amanda's not here, sorry, Pat. Oh, you're muted. Can you, sorry.
At Bonsai.
Okay, Jim Hogan,
Jim Hogan, aye.
that's Samus,
Samus, aye.
Richard Tucker.
Richard Tucker, aye.
I also say aye. So the meeting is adjourned at 7:25 p.m.